phase plant community, I have a gift for you. One preset to rule them all. Yeah, it's just a pretty nice granular synthesis template that I've made, and I'm giving away right here on the Producer Tech YouTube channel. It's particularly useful for heavier basses and leads, but also good for interesting stabs and FX. So it's quite a versatile preset. I mentioned it briefly in some granular synthesis videos I did at the end of last year, so you can refer to them if you want to learn more about that type of sound design. And I said I'd give away the preset in those videos, so here it is. And one of the best things about it is you can literally just drop any sample into it, like basic sounding drums and percussion, and it sounds pretty great straight away. So super quick run through it then. I should say that it's inspired by Granulator 3, which is a sweet instrument coming imminently in Ableton Live version 12, as that has the ability to scan through samples, which is something you can't do as default on Phase Plant's Granular, but you can use modulators to do that for you, which is exactly what I've set up in this preset. So to make your own unique sound with this then, you just have to drop any sample into it. Drums work really well, so I've got some toms here. And you can hear it's pretty distorted. I'm just going to play this MIDI clip actually so I don't have to play notes. And the distortion is being caused by these two different modules here. But you can, dial them more in or out using the macros here. And there's also Faturator as well. And then lastly, going through the fairly intuitive controls first, we have a filter cutoff for controlling the top end. And the envelope decay on that filter cutoff for extending the brightness of transients by creating a longer sweep on the start of every note. And then moving over to the granular controls then, the first four macros here. Firstly, we have the number of grains, which in the case of this preset relates to the pitch. So when you play a C, you hear a C. So I wouldn't necessarily say that you should adjust this unless you want to do some kind of weird sound design stuff. But harmonic is one you absolutely should play with because this is great for creating all kinds of magic timbre shifts. And then lastly, we have the scan amount and scan speed. I'm just going to stop this clip for a second. And these, as I said earlier, set how much the grains scan through the sample. So right now it's turned down, so we're not getting any scanning. So when I play a note, it's quite loopy or consistent. But if I turn up the scan amount, the grains then move through the sample and we'll get a kind of evolution as that happens, which will vary more and more as you turn up the speed. Going too fast, obviously, it starts to get more and more kind of back towards that tom. So generally setting it in this half of the dial range is going to give you better results. So it's going to be great for kind of, stabs, FX type hits and all sorts of different sounds. Do be careful when you do this though, that, be aware of the fact that the pitch has changed now. So it isn't necessarily going to be a good thing to mess with if you want to create melodic lines and phrases that are in tune. But for kind of sound design purposes where you just lay down a load of audio and then chop out some of the best bits and then kind of fix the pitch afterwards, these are really great. And lastly, down at the bottom, we've got this random modulator, and that is controlling the position of the grains. So if I just turn the scanning off for a moment, you can hear when I play different notes now, it jumps around to different positions, and that's creating just a kind of little bit of inconsistency, or rather variation, with the notes that I'm playing, so it's not completely kind of machine gun-like. But if you want, you can bring this down to 0 if you want it to stay completely fixed, or turn it up if you want to get more variation there. So that's something I would have actually assigned to another macro if there was one left, but I'd use them all up. So enjoy the preset as a gift from us here at Producer Tech, and I hope it gets you more into Granular if you're not into it already, as it's definitely one of the most awesome generators on Phaseplant, in my opinion. And stay subscribed to the channel for more production and sound design tips and freebies over the coming months. I'll see you next time.